Hi guys, still working on servicing this 2004 V70. Next filter to change is the cabin filter. A bit of a tricky one to get at this, but it's under the glove box. I'm going to need a few tools to get into this. I'll go through them as we go, but it's pretty much a Phillips screwdriver or a Torx T25. A little ratchet comes in handy. Now the first thing we need to do is get this plastic piece out. That's the piece with the courtesy light in. And there are two fasteners. Now on this car, they are actually Torx T25 screws. Now that's unusual. I've only ever seen them previously as Phillips screw, but we'll see what happens. Okay, so that's those two fasteners out. I was expecting them to be Phillips rather than Torx T25s, but no matter. Okay, so I've changed the angle slightly so that you can see what's going on in this corner. This is the piece we removed first. There's a screw here, they come out. This piece is now quite loose, but there's a clip just here. Now I'm going to use a couple of bone tools here, just plastic pry bars basically, to wheedle this out of here. Just get a little bit of purchase. And then pry this piece out. You can see what we're working against just there. And that piece clips in, so we're kind of pulling down to free that. And then on the other side, it comes out. It's around these two joints here and lifts out. So that's step one. Okay, so this is the container that holds the filter, the cabin filter. There are four Torx T25 fasteners on it. Nice and easy to get at, except that you might need a slightly shorter tool than usual to get at the ones at the back. Now I'm not expecting these to be too tight. Certainly they don't need to be, so I'm hopeful that I'll be able to undo these by hand. So that's two of them out. Now the ones at the back are less easy to see. There's a funky little gadget, little mirror with a light. You can see there's one here. I don't know if that comes across too well, but certainly I can see there is one here and there's one here. So I'll just pop these out and you'll have to take my word for it. And these have been fairly mangled by a previous mechanic. I should. There we go. Just finger tight, should be able to do them by hand. You could also use a short ratchet and a short socket, something like that. I'm just using this extension piece that fits into a 12mm socket here. Let's do the other side. There you are. Slightly fiddly job, this one. Oh, this one's offering some resistance. Okay. So that's the four screws out, and as you'll see pretty much straight away the filter comes falling out. The first thing to notice is that there are two slots. There is actually two different types of filters to go in this. One is an activated carbon one and the other one's just a straight paper filter. it's the straight paper filter. It goes in to the back one of the two slots. Now, these things just pull out nice and easy. Can be a bit fiddly to get back in. But I'm just going to pull that out and leave it sitting there for a second to do a like-for-like comparison. Note that that came out of the back one of the two slots. We have to make sure it goes back in. Okay, so here's the new filter. Now, it's going to need to go in one way. It is a fixed filter. Its top corner is shaped. This one is very slightly different construction, but overall the size and shape are the same. And the airflow direction is marked. So, that is going to have to be it. Notice that it will only fit in one way. Okay, so we can use this filter and this is going to go into the back one of the two slots. It should just push up in place. There we go. I'll leave that sitting there for a second. So this one is looking pretty sorry for itself. An awful load of grime, leaves, general grot in this one. So that can go straight in the bin. And now, refitting is simply the reverse of removal. So 4 Torx T25s to hold this tray back in place. I'll just put those in finger tight. There's no point in going crazy with them because I'm going to have to do this again at some point in the future. This will make my life easier later on. These ones at the back are properly fiddly, but not impossible, so just take your time and you'll get there in the end. That's the right hand one done. That will now hold itself. Just going to use the mirror again to locate the left hand one. It's a really awkward job to find a comfortable position to do it in. I am currently sitting on the pavement, leaning in through the passenger door. It's the easiest way I've found. So it's quite an awkward job, but not impossible. So that's the rear tube. Front right. Okay, so that's the filter replaced, housing back on, and now we need to refit the plastic cover. I think it's called a kick guard, as I recall, but not that much of a kicking. And the tip of the passenger's toes. That's 2 more T25s. Just to relocate, so if you remember, this goes in right hand side first and slots in around the side of this central console panel, and then we're going to push it up at the back in the middle. A little bit of a filtery exercise. Okay, move you guys again. And now I need to relocate the piece that took all that prize out with the bone tool. That's this little bit here. So to do that, I'm going to need to push it up the back in order to get enough clearance, and then this piece just pops in like that. So we've got 2 screws to refit, one on either side of the courtesy link. Just pop those in now. Let's say in this case, unexpectedly, these screws are in fact T25s. I really wasn't expecting that, not seen that before, but maybe that's normal and I've just been unlucky. Okay, that's it. All done. So remember that there are 2 different types of filters. There's an activated carbon one, it's much less common if you order replacement parts aftermarket, and there's the single piece. If you're just putting the single one in, it goes on the firewall side. And that's it. That's the cabin filter in a Volvo V70. Hope that's been useful. Keep an eye out for future videos, and I will see you next time. Take it easy, guys.